2018, Donald Trump, who was at that time president of the United States, was so upset about my jokes that I made about him, he directed his staffers at the White House to call Disney to tell them to rein me in. And I had like 80 texts when I woke up sending me this article from Rolling Stone. It says, Trump White House pressured Disney to censor Jimmy Kimmel. Now, Disney is the company that owns ABC, our network, and Jimmy Kimmel is. The report says at least 2 calls were made from the Trump White House to, quote, convey the president's anger regarding Kimmel's monologues and jabs. In other words, President Karen demanded to speak to my manager.
Donald Trump was so angry at Jimmy Kimmel's jokes, he allegedly called Disney to demand they rein him in. Yes, the former leader of the free world was playing speak to the manager, but did it backfire? Oh, absolutely. Before we move on, I would like you to subscribe to the channel and like the video. How far would a president go to silence a late-night comedian? Well, if you're Donald Trump, the answer is apparently straight to the top of Disney's speed dial. That's right, multiple reports claim Trump personally called Disney executives while he was in the White House.
A Big 5 accounting firm, like one of the biggest accounting firms in the world, I can pay them millions of dollars. I rely on them to do accounting, but I'm supposed to know more than them. By this logic, insurance companies are going to start suing patients.
The amount of ass-kissing in this trial is insane. DJ TJ, of course, denies any and all wrongdoing and is instead going with the "our accountants did it" defense.
For listening to their doctors, right? Do you understand? Like, am I supposed to know more? Oh, Don Jr. doesn't know anything about it. I'm not an accountant. I'm a business guy.
Furious over Jimmy Kimmel's jokes. This wasn't some casual remark. This was the President of the United States using time and resources to complain about late-night television. Imagine you're the head of Disney, and one day you get a call like, "Hi, it's the President of the United States. Can you do something about the guy making fun of me?" It's like a billionaire calling McDonald's because they got their fries slightly cold. Petty doesn't even begin to cover it. And what exactly had Kimmel said that sparked this level of rage? Oh, it wasn't just one thing. See, Kimmel had made a habit of roasting Trump on a nightly basis, but one particular joke really got under his orange skin. Remember the TACO nickname? Trump's all chaos organization. Not only was it a sharp jab at the nature of his presidency, but it also became a viral shorthand for his approach to leadership. Kimmel even went as far as creating a remix parodying Trump as Taco Man, which of course fueled the internet's creativity. The clips gained massive traction, flooding social media and making them impossible to ignore.
The first time Donald Trump ever tries to stop someone from talking about him on television, and it's me. Usually when he wants somebody to stop talking about him, he pays them $130,000. Who fathered Eric and Don Jr. would know how to handle jokes, but I guess not. The article says news of these calls spread around the corridors of power in Washington. Wow, what a plot twist. But he wanted me to do it for nothing. I wonder what it was specifically that sparked his Trumper tantrum.
Trump's solution, rather than take it on the chin or laugh it off, he reportedly asked his team to step in and stop the jokes. Now, here's where it gets even funnier. Trump's attempt to silence Kimmel didn't work. In fact, it completely backfired. The jokes only gained more attention, turning the situation into a bigger headline. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. Suddenly, Kimmel wasn't just the guy telling the jokes. He became part of the story. Trump inadvertently boosted his opponent's platform while giving everyone, including Kimmel, even more material to work with.
Don Jr., he's so embarrassing. He's on the stand, he's testifying in this $250 million fraud trial, and he has to compliment. He said his father is an artist with real estate. You have Donald Trump Jr., who was in court again this morning. There he is. You hear the protesters chanting, crime family, and that is basically what these people are, a crime family. The father of hotel gyms. He said, maybe someone put a gym in a building somewhere, but no one did it at the scale of my father. He's saying that his father, the father of the hotel gym, is a guy who's never stepped inside one.
And speaking of boosting platforms, it wasn't just the former president taking late-night jabs personally. Don Jr. wasn't about to sit this one out, and let's just say his reaction made things even weirder. While Trump was busy calling Disney to complain about jokes, Don Jr. was having a meltdown of his own, but it wasn't in court where you'd think he'd be more focused, considering he's at the center of a $250 million fraud trial. Instead of addressing the very serious accusation that the Trump organization inflated its assets, Don Jr. appeared obsessed with one thing: Jimmy Kimmel's jokes. Because apparently being the punchline of late night TV is a bigger threat than potential financial ruin or chance of crime family outside your courtroom.
Tell me how they fit into all of this.
They don't fit into all of this. What have they been asking the kids? It's very simple. They'll ask the kids, did you give a value to somebody? Did you do something? And everybody said resoundingly no.
And with all the complaining the Trumps do about this trial playing out in the media, you could barely even turn the channel without seeing their lawyer doing an interview with somebody.
And these kids did nothing wrong. They should not be in this case. Ivanka's already out of the case. The boys should not be in the case.
That's right. They're just boys. They're kids. Eric has a book report due this weekend.
Kimmel's material about Don Jr. practically wrote itself. One of his favorite targets was Don Jr.'s courtroom demeanor, which Kimmel described as a mix of trying too hard charisma and, well, none at all. It didn't help that Don Jr. defended the Trump family business by comparing it to a gym. Yes, a gym. Kimmel ran with this one, turning it into a recurring joke about whether Don Jr. thought dumbbells and accounting fraud were interchangeable. The comedian even joked that relying on accountants as their defense strategy was like asking a fast food cashier to handle a tax audit. It wasn't just a roast, it was a full late night smash. The whole situation became almost cartoonish. Don Jr. sitting in court, lawyers battling over massive fraud allegations, while his thoughts seemed preoccupied with what Jimmy Kimmel might say next. It's like being on a sinking ship and worrying about whether your hair looks good in the lifeboat, and though you might think Don Jr. would brush it off, maybe even laugh along for PR's sake, that's not really the Trump way. Instead, Don Jr.'s reaction went even further than his dad's Disney drama.
Don and Don Jr. had some father and son event this weekend. They went to the UFC fight at Madison Square Garden. There they are. Trump's being cheered on with, he's got Dana White there. He's got Tucker Carlson in the back. He's got Kid Rock in tow. And by the way, Donald Trump's older sister, Marianne, the former judge, died this morning. They found her unresponsive in her apartment. She was 86 years old. So far today, Trump has posted lashing out at the witch hunt. Don Jr. was thrilled to be a part of the group. He posted this picture of him and Tuck cackling in their blue checker print shirts. A couple of banana Republicans right there. And
it wasn't just grumbling or tweets. Reports suggest Don Jr. actively escalated things, seeking backup to push back against Kimmel. But instead of silencing Kimmel, it only added fuel to the fire. And here's the irony. The more the family fought against these jokes, the clearer it became that satire wasn't just exposing their flaws, it was amplifying them for the world. Trump's obsession with censoring Jimmy Kimmel and Don Jr.'s over-the-top tantrum shows one thing: the Trumps aren't exactly good at laughing at themselves. Instead of brushing off a few late-night jokes, they turned it into a full-blown spectacle, proving just how desperate they are to control their image. The irony? Their outrage only made them look weaker, while Kimmel's humor exposed their insecurities to millions. Moments like these remind us why satire matters. A well-placed joke can topple egos even bigger than Trump Tower. In the end, it wasn't the president or his son who came out on top. It was Taco Man.